rock that.
So to be completely honest, I don't really know what to say about this week's episode of Boruto. Uh, Most of the episode was mostly about Konohamaru and Boruto getting inside of this castle area where the guy from last week's episode, who's essentially a butler, his employer is named Lady Sakuya, and she has the Hashirama cell, and we found out like what they've been using it on, and or who they've been using it on, and that girl that we saw like a couple weeks ago, they used it on her just to see if it worked or not. And I only bring that up because we see her at multiple points within the episode, which didn't really live up to anything, and all it really did was just pad out the episode and lead up to one surprising reveal, but not really, because all you had to do is just put the pieces together, and all they did was basically just tell us what they did with it. It's a lot of walking towards where they're supposed to get. Once they get where they're supposed to get, they get inside. They had to try to stall for time. Boruto tries to go find the Hashirama cell that is with Sakuya, and turns out there are like 4 other people who are also after the Hashirama cell, which were the guys who were disguising themselves as women to try to disguise or trying to seduce the medical ninja guy from the Mist Village. And then the episode just kind of sort of ends there with the butler saying like, "Oh, Lee Shinobi infiltrated the place and blah 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 blah. Lady Sakuya died," and then he dies. And then what ends up happening after that is the barrier for the castle gets taken down, and then the 4 dudes who now have the Hashirama cell, they're like, "Oh, Leaf Shinobi infiltrated. If you get them, you'll get a reward." And so basically the whole town and all the little minion fucking dudes are now after, the Leaf Shinobi, or, basically Boruto and Konohamaru. And then the episode just sort of ends. It just sort of fucking ends there, and nothing really of importance happened. And that's just sort of how I've been feeling about the past couple of weeks with the Boruto episodes. I feel like nothing's been happening, and it's so weird because a couple of weeks ago, where essentially not much really happens, right? It sets up more of a mystery than anything. That was one of my favorite episodes of the arc so far, and just the fact that they haven't been able to do anything on that level again for the past couple of weeks just kind of disappoints me. And it just sort of feels like these episodes just have a lot of fluff, just have a lot of padding to make the episode longer, and just to make the arc longer. And it's just, I was so excited to see this new, like, this basically this new Akatsuki, with Kara, and we've seen like one member who is definitely a member of Kara, and another member who we have to assume is definitely a member because of just the vibe that he gets off, and the fact that he's talking to like Mr. Victor guy that we saw at the beginning of the arc. It's all weird. It's all just confusing. I want things to get more, and I want things to get more exciting. I want things to get more interesting, but so far it hasn't really led up to anything, and I'm just not really impressed with what's going on so far. Maybe we'll get something interesting in the coming weeks. I don't really have any idea what to really say about that though. So yeah, that's the end of the video. See ya.